Hello, my name is Ben Fry. This video is for my William Woods graduate course, EDU 528. It has to do with calculating transportation costs for athletic programs in your school. The assignment was to calculate the cost of transportation for both a male and female sport, and I chose to do the 2018 football and volleyball season here at New London Community School District where I'm employed. So um, after meeting with our transportation director, superintendent, and business manager, I found several different documents and had multiple conversations in regards to how we determine the cost of transportation, whether it's cost per mile, whether it's cost per student, whether it's a contracted or hourly rate. We do have kind of a breakdown. If you break down our transportation, it usually kind of or our non-activity transportation, everything breaks down to about $1.50 per student. But when it comes directly to activities, which this assignment was focused on, there's a contractual amount that the drivers are allotted or given. So I apologize for that. But we have a contractual amount that our drivers are factored into every year. So their normal route is $35 that they get no matter what, as long as they're on a route, that kind of thing. And then they get an additional $11.84 per hour. So when I was calculating the transportation costs, I went back through all of the timesheets and everything that the drivers had kept, and my spreadsheet is right here. I took all of the away dates for the football team, junior high through varsity level, and same thing with volleyball, junior high through varsity level. Football ended up with 17 different travel dates, technically 18. One of them was a pet bus that another driver took, but because it had to do with the football team going to the state championship, the pet bus then associates with the football program. So I added in the 18th date and kind of gave it its own little tag, but included the total cost in the eventual total cost of transportation for that athletic season. So Mark F was the driver for football. He drove every junior high, every JV, every varsity game. His hourly rate for the 2018 year was $11.84 an hour, which was the standard rate for all drivers. The one thing that New London does, and it might be a common practice, but anytime that a driver has to give up their normal route, they still make that initial $35 that they would make if they were taking their route. But when a sub has to be found to fill the route of an activities driver, that sub is then paid an additional $35 because they're a substitute. So anytime that there is a route that needs to be covered because of an activity, an additional $35 is added to the overall total from that activity. So with the 18 dates, that's including the pet bus that Mark and Jim, the pet bus driver, transported students and student athletes for football. The total cost of football in 2018 was $2,264.20. Now, every event, every game is broken down into hours traveled times the hourly rate, and then it factors in if a sub was needed. So you would add a $35 fee if the sub is needed. You'd also add a $35 fee if they were missing their normal route. And then I also factored in the meal for that driver because they are technically driving for the activity and eating and getting reimbursed. So that money has to come from somewhere. So I did factor in the meal cost, and that was both in football and volleyball. So if we look at the first game of the year that Mark had to drive was a JV football game in Winfield. The amount of time he spent with the team was 4 3/4 hours. You take that times 1184. There was no route sub needed, so no additional fees there. And then you take the 4.75 times 1184 and then add $6 for his meal. His total for that date was 62.24. Now the next date was August 31st, 2018. He drove to Moravia, which had an 8-hour total. So you take that times the 1184, but his route had to be covered. So you take 8 times 1184 plus 35 plus the substitutes 35 plus his meal, which was $6, and you have 170.72. And after you factor all these things together, you'll have some dates. We had one game where he drove a total of, or he was not driving, but he was on duty with the football team for a total of 13 hours. We had another one where he was on duty for just under 13 hours. So after you factor all those things in together, you have a total cost of $2,264.20 for the 2018 football season. Volleyball, the driver was Jim M., and he drove every volleyball game, like I said, junior high through high school. And it was broken down the exact same way. His first volleyball match was August 25th. It was a Saturday, so there was no route coverage, anything like that. So you take his hours, which was 5.75 times his hourly rate, which was $11.84. And then you add in his meal, which he spent $4 and was reimbursed for, which brought his total to $72.08. And then he had one on October 4th where a route was needed to be covered. He was on duty for 6.25 hours times 1184 plus 35, which was his route fee, plus the substitute route fee, plus a $6 meal, had $150. So after you factored all of the volleyball cost in, the total amount that the volleyball team spent on transportation, or that was the transportation cost that was associated with volleyball, was $1,894.56. And as I said, with the meal being associated as being reimbursed, it's not technically added directly to it, but they are getting reimbursed for it. The substitute and the route fee, that's just the school policy. In the event that the bus doesn't leave until after the driver can complete his route, there's no route fee associated because they've already been paid that, and that's not associated with the activity. I hope this made sense. My spreadsheet is here. It breaks it down, I think, really well. Hours times hourly rate plus the route rate plus the substitute route rate plus the meal, and it gives you the total, and it breaks it down day by day. The total, or the month span, or the span of time that the football driver drove, was August 27th, 2018 to November 15th, 2018. Volleyball, August 25th, 2018 to October 30th, 2018. So roughly 3 months for football and 2.5 months for volleyball. So that is the total transportation cost of both football and volleyball. I hope this video was insightful and gave you kind of a deeper understanding of the total cost and factors that go into transportation for different activities. So thank you.